Hello everyone, this is Fabio and welcome back. Today it's time for the pickups of March. I was looking at all the stuff that I gather this month, and I have to say there is quite a lot of stuff, but it's mainly movies. There are some games, and there is a really special item that it's game related, even though it's not the game, but it's in the zone. And I'm really excited about that, and I'm going to show that as the last item. I'm gonna save the best for last. But I noticed that even though I'm playing games every day, mainly during the night, late evening, like I always did, and I'm doing in this period, still trying to finish Final Fantasy V. I'm almost at the end. I'm towards the end. Still gonna take some effort, but the thing that I cannot turn off my DS to play that game. It's sometimes I play it, sometimes I say I need to take a break, but I'm keeping my DS on in more than a month now. It's really weird, but in a way, it's the only way actually that I can play that game and try to finish it. And I really want to finish that game because I love it. I love Final Fantasy V. But the main attention of this pickup are actually movies and stuff like that, because I did a lot of watching for a simple reason, a very important reason. Recently I've decided to do something that I postponed for years, and that is getting into Star Trek, because I am a huge Star Wars fan. But for many years, I kind of ignored Star Trek. I mean, I always acknowledge it. I know that it existed, but I always avoid it, and simply not because I didn't like it or anything like that. It's simply because I thought, well, it's always being there. It will always be there. It's not going away, and I can go into it whenever I want. So I believe that I was watching something Star Trek related or hearing something Star Trek related, and then, unfortunately, as we know, recently, legend Leonard Nimoy passed away, and I think that was what triggered me to, well, let's see what Star Trek is all about, because I'm really curious about it, since I love science fiction, and of course, I probably need to watch Star Trek. It's something that I always kind of wanted to do, and I always say, I'll take my time, I'll watch it sooner or later, we'll see. And that has been the main focus on this month. I watch a lot of Star Trek movies, but there are some other interesting ones. I mean, there's a lot of quality stuff in here, I think, so let's just get into it. And of course, since I was talking about, let's start it with the new Star Trek movies. But this is not the first one that I saw, actually. I saw it a couple of days ago, and I liked it very much, actually. And I'm going to watch Into Darkness tonight, so we'll see. I'm really curious about it. But as I said, I didn't start with the new ones, because at the same time, I bought, as you can see, I was busy with Star Trek. I bought 4 movies, because these old movies are quite cheap. So I started with Wrath of Khan, which is amazing. Continue with Search for Spock. Voyage Home, and I just watched The Undiscovered Country, number 6. And this trilogy, it's fantastic. I mean, I love this, absolutely love this, especially Wrath of Khan, it's really good. But I also love Voyage Home. I mean, it's so much fun just to see the crew of the Enterprise in the 80s. It was so much fun. But these movies are really good. Tonight I'm going to watch Into Darkness. Really curious about it, because I liked the new one. It's a nice reboot. They decided to reboot the series, and I think they did it really good, really well. And really curious. As you can see, I had a lot of watching. So no wonder this is the main focus of the month. But I think it was Sunday or something. I watched these two one after the other, so I kind of really run through Star Trek, and I'm really loving it. And so far I'm just watching the movies. I haven't bought anything of like series, like the original series or Next Generation, New Generation. I'm really interested into Deep Space Nine, I have to say. That's probably the series that I will watch in the future. But so far, I'm really happy with the movies. Tonight, and probably after work, I'm going to buy a couple more because, as I said, they're really cheap. And, well, done with Star Trek. I don't want to talk too much about it. Just say that now this is among my favorite movies of all time. Wrath of Khan, it's really fantastic. Just want to add that. And more DVDs. We got 2 movies and a animated series. Already watched this movie because recently Nostalgia Critic did an entire month dedicated to the Matrix movies, and I showed the Animatrix already last month. But in the last episode, while it was talking about Matrix Revolution, the third one, it always started to talk about Dark City, and I all of a sudden say, wait a second, I remember that movie, I remember that title. I start to think about it, and the realization that I saw that on television years ago, but part of it, then I didn't really get it, and I wasn't too much into it, but I've decided to give the movie another chance. And let me tell you, this movie is really good. I really liked Dark City. It's basically everything that the Matrix did before the Matrix. I mean, and it's not that it invented the themes of like the Matrix and everything. It's pretty common in science fiction, like in books and everything. But Dark City is really cool, especially because I love film noirs, and there are so many classic film noir moments in these movies. The strangers are amazingly cool. I love that, with that weird voice that they have when they're like Mr. Murdoch, or when they are putting the people to sleep, like go to sleep. This voice, but with this look, it's such a cool setting. I really liked Dark City. I highly recommend this movie. You can probably buy it for next to nothing, and it's really cool. It's an interesting idea, and themes, of course, about probably religion and stuff like that. But if you are interested into the Matrix and those kind of stuff, highly recommend Dark City, because you're probably going to like it. And it's everything the Matrix did, but it did it before, so it's interesting to see this thing. It's like watching a science fiction series saga before Star Wars, I mean, or Star Trek. It's really cool. So, highly recommend Dark City. Then, this really controversial series, and I can't get enough of this. The Teen Titans Go, Season 1, Part 2. Waiting now for Season 2, Part 1. And I love this. I know that many Teen Titans fans don't like this. I hate this series, while others kind of like it. I mean, it's a really love and hate situation. I'm among those who actually love this, because I realize that it's not the same thing as Teen Titans, the original series. I know that. That's not the point. This is so funny. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's worth watching this just for Robin, for example. He is incredibly, hilariously funny in a stupid kind of way. I mean, to see Robin in the original show and now how he's portrayed into this, it's amazing. And all the interaction among the characters, the stupid, ridiculous situation that they are into. I mean, there's an episode where it's all about taking back a couch from a retirement house, but at the end of the day, they're just stealing it from the old people. And it's so much fun. I love Teen Titans Go. I don't care if it's not cool to say you're not a real Teen Titans fan if you love Teen Titans Go. I freaking love this show. It's incredibly funny. All this stupid jokes, sometimes a lot of references. I mean, I love this. I can't get enough of this, and I highly recommend it. Actually, just look at it for what it is. This is not a continuation of the original show, which is fantastic, by the way. Watch Teen Titans Go, the first 5 seasons, and for just having a laugh and like something that you do not require to think about it. Just watch this because it's incredibly funny. I just move all these movies before they fall down. Finally, the final movie. Just wanted to do this pretty quickly. I couldn't resist. I'm a huge fan of the show, and I've always knew about this. That it's a sort of prequel of what created the show, but it wasn't successful. But I couldn't resist buying Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, the movie, and came before the Buffy that we all know and love. This is in 1982, I think. Yes, 1992 movie, and I'm so curious about it. I don't know what to expect because I never watched this. I mean, I grew up watching the show. I love Buffy. My personal favorite season was season 5, but when I saw this, I looked at it and said, I have to have this. I'm so curious about it. Maybe it's terrible. I don't know, but I was so curious about it because recently, again, a friend of mine mentioned Buffy recently, and I was like, oh my god, I love Buffy. I want to watch it again. I haven't watched it in years now, but when I saw the movie, I just couldn't resist. I was like, let's see how Buffy was before Buffy. So curious. It's Christy Swanson doing Buffy instead of Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm so curious about this movie. Can't wait to watch it one of these evenings. Really curious about Buffy. So that's it for the movies. I tried to rush it a little so we can talk about the games finally. And we have some games, not as many as the movies, of course, but because I realized that I have at this point a lot of games that I still need to play and finish. Jeanne d'Arc is taking much more time than I thought to finish it because it's much longer than I expected. But I will talk about that in my discussion video when I finish it. So the main focus of my attention recently has been Jeanne d'Arc and Final Fantasy V. But I'm increasing my Vita collection because, as you know, I am a Vita owner now. And let's start with this. I was curious when I saw it. I didn't really know what to expect because there was just one comment on Amazon. Because yes, I mainly buy games on Amazon or eBay because, well, there is much more choice. Recently, I went to Game here in London, and the Vita section is ridiculously small. I mean, I think there are 20 games in there, an entire shop. There is of course, a huge section for the Xbox, a huge for PlayStation 3 and 4, a small shelf for Vita games that are, as I said, my PSP collection is bigger than the entire Vita selection. Then there is some Nintendo stuff over there. I mean, it's not a really good shop. I mean, and all the Vita games are so bad. I think there's plenty of sports game, of course. Well, we are in Europe, so we have to have all the sports games. And some other, like Farm Simulator. I mean, what the hell is that? With all the good titles on the Vita, there wasn't even an ease copy. So I was like, what? Well, I realized well, whatever. But I was really curious about this game, which it's Conception 2 by Atlus. And I already started to play it a little just to see how it is. Because the only comment on Amazon is like... okay, what was it? Like something like an RPG meets The Sims. I was like, what? I was really curious. It wasn't very expensive, and I want to increase my collection for the Vita since I love this system. And Conception basically, it's an harem JRPG. Basically, you have to improve your relationship with these female students so you can create star children. And it's full of references on this sort of subject, which it's fun. I mean, it's very cheesy and corny in a way, but it's okay. I play the game as you can really see that this is an Atlus game by playing it because it's mainly a third-person dungeon crawler. So you explore labyrinths. I mean, it seems like Etrian Odyssey with a bit of Persona style because it takes place in a school environment with the harem thing. I mean, it's a weird game, but It's an interesting JRPG, I think, by Atlus. It looks gorgeous. I mean, the graphics and everything, it's gorgeous anime style. It's like playing an anime with monsters. It's kind of neat, and it's not bad at all, actually. I had fun playing it. Um, I think I played for 3-4 hours or something like that, and I liked it so far. I mean, it's not mind blowing. I mean, Ease was Ease or Gravity Rush. That's another game I'm playing. Are probably more interesting overall, but I recommend Conception. It's not bad at all, and it's a fun little game for the Vita. And the next one that I picked up recently, and I'm really curious to play it. I haven't touched it yet because I have too many games going on for my standards. I mean, I'm playing, as I say, Jeanne d'Arc, Final Fantasy V, Gravity Rush. I tried Conception 2, and there's another game that I cannot wait to talk about it. And it's not this one. And this, it's going to be the next one that I play after I finished probably Gravity Rush for the Vita. And that is Freedom Wars by Sony, I think Japan Studio, yeah. The only thing I know, this is an action RPG, and it takes place, I think it's in a sort of post-apocalyptic future where the cities are transformed into massive prisons, and I think that you have to escape, but I haven't read too much about it. It wasn't very expensive, it looked really cool, so I decided, let's try it. So yes, I don't know what to expect from this. It looks like a really cool and interesting action RPG. And after I played Ease, I'm really into the mood for more action RPG. I don't know if this is going to be hack and slash like that, or it's more turn-based action RPG. We'll see. Maybe I'll give it a try before playing seriously. Because recently, the main focus on my Vita, just showing because it's not a game with physical release, not now at least, it's an old game, because now I just started also to enjoy the possibilities of this amazing machine, which is of course the PlayStation Store, the PSN, and I bought for nothing, and I'm so glad that I did, Final Fantasy IX, and I'm playing it on the Vita. So just playing, like yesterday I started Disc 2, and let me tell you, first of all, I freaking love Final Fantasy IX. I have it for the PS1, and I'm always uncertain to say which one my favorite Final Fantasy is, because it's between Final Fantasy 6 and 9. It's always been like that since I played both of them on the PlayStation 1, because we didn't have Final Fantasy 3 on the Super Nintendo. And I've always loved Final Fantasy IX because it's a huge tribute to the Super Nintendo age of Final Fantasy. It's really different from both 7 and 8, which are more steampunk setting. They're both, especially 7, I think, very steampunk oriented, while Final Fantasy IX goes back to the medieval fantasy style of the series. And also like especially for the setting, but also like the design and everything. It's such a gorgeous game. It's a phenomenal game, by the way. If you haven't never played Final Fantasy IX, shame on you. You really need to play that game, because it's, to me, it's together with 6 the best Final Fantasy ever made. It's easily, I mean, with no effort at all, the best Final Fantasy on PlayStation 1. It's so much better than 7 and 8 for me. And as I said, it's among my favorite games of all time, and just the idea of playing that masterpiece on the go thanks to my Vita, it's so good. I couldn't resist. There was recently, not anymore unfortunately, but it's not very expensive on PSN, but before it was just £3.99. That's nothing. Now I think it's £7.99, still not expensive. So all of you Vita owners, buy Final Fantasy IX, especially if you never played it. But as I said, playing these PS1 games on the go, it's simply fantastic. It makes me even more happier than I decide to buy the Vita, because there are so many games in there. For example, yesterday, I didn't understand how to change the disc on this thing, because they say press the PS button and you should have the option. It didn't work, so I was just looking around for that. went back to the store, maybe there was some instructions, and for example, Arc the Lad, that's a game that we didn't have in Europe, and I'm very curious about that. There's the entire trilogy. Even though I already played and beat the game, Fear Effect, I'm a huge fan of that series. There are both the games on sale, and so many more PS1, PSP games. The potential for this system is amazing. It's massive, and maybe the possibility of having PS2 games, because I think the Vita can handle PS2 graphics and everything easily. I mean, this is such a good system, people. Buy the Vita. I cannot recommend it enough. Yes, maybe the physical release, like the games like this, are not as strong as the 3DS or something. But just the idea of playing all those other games like other systems, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal system. Small complaint, by the way, with the PS Vita. I love these small and compact boxes and cases for Vita games, but what the hell? I mean, I knew that, but there are no instruction manuals, and I like this really small, tiny cartridge, but it's so disappointing not having anything. I really don't care about the Vita. Look at the PSP. I love these larger but still kind of compact games, like Jeanne d'Arc. At least they have an instruction manual with some art and something. I mean, with the Vita, they don't even bother anymore. I mean, like, who cares? So yeah, finally we are to the main event, to me, of this video, and I waited for this item dropping a little in price because it wasn't kind of expensive, but then it went under the 20. I don't remember if it was between 25 and 20 or less than 20. And it's an art book of a series that, since I played it for the first time, a bit late I know, but I didn't have my PS3 since last summer. I fell in love with the series. I'm becoming obsessed with it, and that is, of course, Mass Effect. There you go. The art of the Mass Effect universe includes art from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. It's gorgeous. This thing is gorgeous. I would have preferred it was a bit larger, but still, it's in hardbook. It's in hardcover. Sorry, book. And yeah, there's Samara, Legion, Tali, one of my favorite characters, together with Garrus. Let's get, there's Jack, there's Miranda. These are already read. There's not much text. It's mainly art, as you can see. Just trying, don't want to ruin this. Let's see, Noveria, Eden Prime, all the colonies, the vehicles, the weapons. Look at this. I love this. The elusive man. Yeah, all the art from Mass Effect 2 in this case. These are such amazing games. Can't get enough of Mass Effect. I cannot wait for eventually a new Mass Effect game. It's going to happen. I mean, Mass Effect is such a popular series. Even though with all the controversies among the third game and its ending, and I already said it and I'll say it again, I will never touch the alternative ending of Mass Effect 3, because to me that just feels like an insult towards BioWare. And I don't care if people didn't like the ending, because I don't know, I haven't played Mass Effect 3, we'll see when I played it and beat it, but we didn't like the ending. Oh well, better luck next time with Mass Effect 4. I mean, it's so disrespectful to say, I don't like that, change that. And it's wrong that they actually listen. I mean, it's nice that they listen. I know that's nice that they listen to fans, but that was not something they should listen to. I think it's like, I don't like the way the Mona Lisa smile. Change that, please. I don't like the ending of Gone with the Wind. He should have stayed with Scarlet. I mean, who cares? I mean, that's not the point. Anyways, closing the video with this gorgeous art book. It's always a big thing for me, buying art book or soundtrack, of course, because they are more expensive than games usually. And I think that I love this. Was the proper way to end this video. So, like always, guys, stop reading. Like always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you find all this. Sorry about all the Star Trek thing, but that was the main thing for me of the month. Watching all these movies, and I'm just devouring them because they're so good. I really like this. I might even, on the long run, I think, on the long term, I might even like Star Trek more than Star Wars, I was thinking. But that's a long discussion there, and I'll definitely keep it for another time. For the moment, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.